will progressives break another strike? So there's a couple of things happening with the UPS and let me put a label up here. There's a couple of things happening with UPS and FedEx. UPS and FedEx. The two things that are happening is, so one, this is something I didn't know in researching this topic, and that is they are having a fight amongst each other along with their own internal like striking. UPS and FedEx, and there's the reason is, and it's the law, it's the Labor Act, and this is the act that allows Congress to force strike or break strikes. FedEx is governed by the Railroad Labor Act. UPS is not governed by the Railroad Labor Act. This is why the strike that's coming up for UPS that could come in this summer could be huge, because that's several 100,000, and they cannot break the strike because they're not covered by this act. But they want to be covered by this act, and they've been lobbying to be covered by this act or something like it. They've been lobbying against it, and guess who's been lobbying against that? FedEx has been lobbying against that. They want to keep it separate, keep them under the Railroad Act, because guess what they do? They say, hey, FedEx employees, come over here. It's more security over here, FedEx customers. I'm sorry, FedEx customer, come over here, because our employees never can strike because we have the Railroad Labor Act. So they use it as a selling point, and UPS thinks that this is unfair, that they're able to use this as a selling point for their customers, so they should be covered too. I couldn't believe that this was even a thing, and even researching this. So let me bring up the article, gentlemen, and let's start at the genesis here. So we have this one, and it says, will UPS workers strike? What shippers should know about Teamsters contract talks. Now, this is the first time I've ever used this website. It's called supplychaindive.com, and they have a lot of worker articles on here. But this is the 2023 Outlook, and it says, will UPS workers strike? What shippers should know about Teamsters contract talks. The carrier's sprawling delivery network will be at risk unless a deal is reached by July 31st. So July 31st is the cutoff point for the UPS. So again, we're talking about two different companies when we're talking about the strike. But let me read just a little bit of this. Oh, here's where it tells the amount, where I was trying to find for UJB and Rome. A labor union representing 350,000 U.S. UPS workers could strike this summer if a new contract agreement isn't reached on time, threatening the delivery of millions of parcels. Teamsters leadership has made it clear that they are taking a hardline stance on pay, scheduling, and other issues ahead of negotiations for a new labor contract with UPS. The current contract is set to expire July 31st, and I'll pause there. So we're talking like, what is it, May, June, July, so in about 3 months, 350,000 workers could possibly be going on strike, which is huge. And this is the thing that Shama Sawant has been talking about in one of the strikes that she's trying to mobilize for now. She talks about how this is a real pivotal strike that's going to really be huge for all workers, because this kind of will set the groundwork for any other contract disputes. Everybody will look to this and be like, look what the UPS workers got. But had either of you heard about this upcoming strike with UPS? JB or Rome, had either of you heard about this upcoming strike? I hadn't heard that much about it. So if you hadn't heard much about it, I mean, you don't feel bad, because I knew vaguely what the strike was about, but not until I looked into this did I know the amount of people. Really, 350,000. And then how soon it was coming up. Those are things I didn't know. Did either of you know anything about this or have heard about this story?
No, this is my first time hearing about this, but this actually revamps my resolve and desire that the FedEx and UPS are nationalized and absorbed back into United States Postal Service. I mean, that's really what I think should happen, because the thing is, you know, and then on top of that, the Postal Service, you know, the workers there need to be, you know, uplifted. But the thing is that, you know, they're always going through abuse, you know, and we hear about it time and time again through either FedEx or UPS workers. They're constantly going through, um, they're all constantly going through inhumane sometimes conditions. There was I think there was a story about was it a guy that was driving a UPS truck and it was hot and they can't operate the air conditioning in the trucks and he passed out on somebody's front porch.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So, you know, they're constantly going through things like that. Like, go to you driving next to it. You guys have, you know, driven next to UPS trucks. Those doors are sometimes wide open. There's no air conditioning running in those trucks. And especially people like who live in Florida. Like, I know California, y'all get hot. But Florida, it is like a dragon's balls down here. That's how hot it gets.
Yeah, we get hot, but not hot like that. We don't get hot like Florida and Arizona hot. We don't get hot like that hot. Like that.
Yeah.
Like where the air is, you can't escape it. Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad.
Go ahead, bro.
Like this, I saw this on Twitter earlier, so I haven't read too much into it. I ain't really had too much time, but it's not surprising because where else is the workers? What else is the workers going to do? You know, you pushing the workers, you keeping the wages low, you're raising the retirement age. You know, you keep pushing them their backs against the wall. What else are they going to do? Now, hopefully, this strike has a domino effect. We see FedEx, UPS, and hopefully, you know, our railroad workers will have, you know, saying the backup that they need. It's not that they don't have the balls; it's that the proletarian just don't care enough to actually take care of them if they was to actually do a wild strike against the government. So this is, I hope, hopefully this has a domino effect and falls into a wildcat strike for the railroad workers, so we can get, you know, not only the shit nationalized, but we can get them better conditions, or, you know, conditioning in their trucks or whatever the hell the thing is. I think we should just go for it all. And with hundreds of thousands of people protesting, this can easily turn into a general strike in America. You know, but we have to be frontline for our people. We have to be there and let them know, like, look, we're not just here for one or two things. We're here for it all. You know what I'm saying? Because Paris, they burning their shit to the ground just because of the retirement age.
Yeah, I know.
Just because of the retirement age. They have done that to us 3 times already. 3 times already. Not one fucking building burnt down. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's really gonna have to hit home for Americans to actually feel the burn, for Americans to actually get a sense of urgency. Like we was explaining earlier, a lot of these people are comfortable, even though they know capitalism is draped up and dripped out with slavery. They don't want another system because they can't imagine another system. But I think this is their chance to push socialism on the people. This is our time to go frontline as communists and be there for them. You know what I'm saying? Not no Democrat, Republican bullshit, talk on a microphone for a couple of minutes and get the fuck. No, we building organizations together. We building networks together. We out there, you know what I'm saying, all day, all night. Hunk if you like, you know what I'm saying, if you like unions, you know what I'm saying, et cetera, et cetera. And like Team State, they don't even let their people organize locally. We got to stop that. We got to break the law, you know what I'm saying, in order to get our people right. We got to start organizing, even if it takes us it takes for the people to organize outside of Teamster and bringing the organization inside that motherfucker. That's what it's going to take. But we got to be there with the people, and we got to make sure that we put socialism, not a band-aid on capitalism, because this was going to happen. They're going to give them people a check. They're going to give them a check. They're going to give them a couple of more benefits. It's not going to be what they wanted, but it's going to be just enough to keep that wheel going.